safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
Well, I just love it when the technology comes together to do things like that, do you not?
The technology just leaves me cold.
Yes, for the benefit of those of you watching, for whatever reason, around about 9 o'clock every bloody Thursday night, British Telecom, in its infinite wisdom, decides to restart my router. I've no idea why, and I've got no idea how I can stop them from doing it. But I'm going to have to. Either that, or we're going to have to move the start of the show to 9:10, because that's just bloody wrong on so many levels. It annoys the living bejesus out of us, so it does. And I mean, look it. It's even lost everything else, has it? Press that. No, press that. That's the one. So all this technology, look at it. All of that over there. You can see it. Look on the camera.
Very confusing.
It's nearly in 3D, isn't it?
It is.
Nearly.
Yeah.
All of that, and one little tiny weeny little box goes. That's it. I could say rude words like poo, wee,
They
and little
won't have
bits of
to come
sick.
back and dig me garden up, will they?
No, I don't think so. Quick, there you go. That's the beastie there. So we'll be having a look at the eGrip. We're going to have a look at what Michael Mosley, not Max Mosley, by the way, what Michael Mosley did last night on e-cigs. Keith hasn't seen it, you haven't seen it, have you, Keith?
No, I've recorded it, but I haven't watched it
Haven't
yet.
watched it, you're too busy with the porn last night, were you?
No.
There's a
With
man.
the porn.
There's a man saying he wasn't when he was. I was peeping through your window.
I'm usually stuck for words, you know, with some of your comments.
Really?
But, yes,
I thought you were
you
gonna
catch me sort of unaware.
Funnily enough, never mind. No, we'll not go there. So we're going to be having a look at that and having a little bit of talk about that, because I've got some thoughts on this. I think it was fabulous, but never mind. And then I'm going to catch up on some of the stuff that we've been looking at, and kind of bring you up to date on where everything is. So it's kind of going from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Look forward to it.
Oh, it'll all be good fun. It'll be brilliant. Tino, in fact, he said, looking to say what number he's got the titles on and realising he hasn't. So it'll be one of those.
People think I probably know all about it before it starts.
Do you not?
No.
Really?
You never tell me anything.
Does nobody tell you?
No.
Blazers said, the eGrip looks neat. Hope DD pulls apart the Atty. We'll see. You never know what I might do.
It looks...
Oh, it's neat.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that in the show. So I suppose we ought to say, hello,
Hello.
good evening,
Good evening.
and welcome to...
The Haze Hour.
Daniel. Now,
Keith
who's
is
got
a
to turn up the
mushroom.
volume? What?
Keith is a mushroom.
You're not a mushroom, are you?
No.
It's
Shit
done.
on from a great height.
Shit on from a great. It's done on a need to know basis, is what it's done. Now the question is, what do you want to do? The Haze Hour? Haze Hour. No, note. Anyway, yes. Where are we at? No, I'm going to stop reading chat. Otherwise, I'll just get completely
Right, Get on with it then.
Yes, I will. What do you want to do first? Do you want to have a look at Michael Mosley's bit on the babe last night first?
Yes, please.
I think
Yes.
that would be a good idea. We'll have a gander. Now, as a kind of a pre-sage, a prelude to this thing from the BBC. This was on a show called Trust Me, I'm a Doctor. Now, another Neil was on Twitter earlier on saying, and this is perfectly true, if public health were doing their jobs correctly, but wouldn't actually need television programs like Trust Me, I'm a Doctor, or Big Fat Gypsy, no, not Big Fat Gypsy Wedding, what's the other one that they do, Embarrassing Bodies? You wouldn't need things like that if public health were doing their job right, because the truth would be out there, wouldn't it? You'd know.
Yes.
You know, I mean, if I don't know, bacon rinds were bad for you, for argument's sake, it would be known that have done all the various bits and bobs of testing they need to do.
Yes.
And everybody would know.
Yes.
Instead, we don't actually know, do we?
No.
There's people pump out a whole load of, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yes, shite.
I thought that was the word you were looking for.
Well, I mean, you've just got to look at all this crap that they came up with about full fat milk, not but it's going to cause heart attacks and this and that and everything else and make your backside look like, I don't know.
And now they're saying the opposite.
And they're saying exactly the opposite. They did the same with eggs. Everybody should eat an egg a day. And then, what's that name? Edwina Curry says, no, don't eat eggs or you'll die a nasty death with something or other. And then back again now, eggs is good for you. I think it's whoever's trying to sell what. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, they did it. Trust Me, I'm a Doctor went and had a look at e-cigs. Now, to set the scene, Michael Mosley is a rabid anti-smoker. He really doesn't like it.
He is, that's right.
He's a rabid anti-smoker and went into it from the point of view of, it looks like a fag, so it's as bad as a fag. That was where he started. Be under no illusions. That was where he started. And where he finishes up, I think, is immensely important. So sit back and enjoy. I've watched this about 40 times now. Look how many cloths I've got. Wonder why. Enjoy.
Now, I have my own prejudices and preconceptions, and the great thing about making Trust Me films is they are often challenged by the facts. Now, at the moment, there is one subject that I am really passionate about, and I'm dying to get to the bottom of. Until 7 years ago, it was quite normal to see people smoking away in restaurants and pubs. Then it was banned. Now, cigarettes in public places are making something of a comeback, albeit with a twist. This is vaping, using an electronic cigarette to produce a nicotine-rich vapor instead of burning tobacco. But are they bad for you? In the last 2 years alone, the number of people using them has trebled to over 2 million. They're legal inside most public buildings, and you can even see people vaping in offices. The debates rage about their possible effects on our health. It's a very emotive subject, so I want to look at the evidence from a medical point of view. The first thing to understand is that smoking and vaping are very different. Smoking burns tobacco to release a large dose of addictive nicotine very quickly. But nicotine's not the major problem. Alongside it comes a cocktail of around 4,000 toxic chemicals, increasing the risk of cancer, heart disease, and other serious illnesses. Electronic cigarettes heat up a cartridge of liquid to form a vapor, which can be inhaled instead of smoke. This vapor contains a nicotine hit, along with flavourings and other chemicals. In the UK, there are plans to regulate some e-cigarettes, depending on the nicotine content and the claims made for them. This should ensure tighter controls on what they contain. Now, the manufacturers of e-cigarettes obviously claim that they are much safer than normal cigarettes. But are they? We thought it'd be interesting to test normal cigarette smokers and those who use e-cigarettes and find out exactly what's going on inside their bodies. We've taken samples of saliva, urine and breath from a range of vapors and a group of smokers. And we've done the same test to look at the risks of passive vaping. First, nicotine levels. We found that vapors get a similar dose of nicotine to smokers. Now for the test on the real nasties. Carbon monoxide, associated with heart disease, and acrolein, associated with cancer and lung problems. Here, the vapours had significantly lower levels, similar to those found in non-smokers. As for the risk from passive vaping, our tests found no evidence that the vapour was affecting people nearby. Despite the evidence from our small-scale tests and other bigger studies, I still can't quite get rid of my gut feeling that because cigarettes are so harmful, there might be some hidden dangers lurking in e-cigarettes. Professor Peter Hayek, director of the Tobacco Dependence Research Unit at Queen Mary University of London, has been looking into e-cigarettes in detail. Electronic cigarettes have only been around for a short while. Is there some long-term risks we are not aware of?
I think we can't exclude it altogether. I suppose some of the flavorings in e-cigarettes may turn up to be a danger. There may be risks for some people with lung issues. I think they are unlikely. If there is a danger, it's likely to be a small fraction of a danger of smoking.
What about the addictive qualities of nicotine? Because obviously they're still getting nicotine, they're not getting the other toxins. Are there dangers associated with that?
There are. Nicotine is an addictive substance, and the proportion of people who use nicotine will become hooked. A lot of people drink coffee, right? You've got a coffee cup in front of you. I've got one.
Yeah.
A lot of people are hooked on coffee, and nicotine use would be roughly in the same category if there were no other toxic chemicals which accompany it.
Do you think that e-cigarettes are a big change?
I think they could be a revolutionary change. I think they have a potential to basically eradicate smoking-related disease and death on the population scale.
What I've seen and heard in making this film is beginning to make me rethink my opinion about e-cigarettes. But their effects on our body are only part of the picture. There are fears that allowing widespread use of e-cigarettes would make the consumption of nicotine an everyday sight again. Already there are stories of children as young as 11 trying them. The British Medical Association is calling for a ban in public places. Now, I do agree that you need to be very cautious about anything that makes it easier to consume an addictive drug like nicotine. But considering cigarettes kill half the people who use them, if I was a cigarette smoker, I'd certainly give e-cigarettes a go.
Well,
Yes. Aha. What do you make of that? Because I know you've not seen it.
I thought that was incredible.
Wasn't it though?
Extremely positive.
It is. Now, before we get any further, if people... Tweet your comments using hashtag Haze Hour with a capital H and a capital H. Tweet your comments. If you've got any comments, we'll pick them up as and when we've got chance. Because, yeah, this is it's important stuff, is this. So there you go. Tweet your comments using the hashtag Haze Hour and we'll pick them up. Right, you were saying, Keith, I'm sorry to have interrupted you there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was incredibly positive. Particularly from that guy who is extremely critical of smoking. In one of his previous programmes, I remember smoking being briefly discussed. So, I mean, for him to reach those positive conclusions, I thought was very good.
I was going to say, you know more of him than I do. I mean,
yeah,
that's significant, is it?
Yeah, I was surprised he came out with those conclusions, knowing what he's been like on some of the other issues that being discussed on the series of programmes.
Well, it's interesting as well, during the course of that show, and I see people are chatting about it in chat, this was in Trust Me, I Am a Doctor, or I'm a Doctor. It's on iPlayer now, and during the course of the show, they talked about coffee.
Yes.
And you want to watch it, have a look at it, and I'm going to tell you, I think e-cigs came out of it better than coffee did. On Twitter, though, there's been a lot of chat about it could have been better. I don't think it could have been any better, and I'll tell you for why. Now, you know what I used to do for a job as a magazine editor.
Yes.
Journalist. It's not something I would normally admit to, but I'm going to admit to it tonight. Journalist, right? And the thing about it is, when you construct an article, if you wish to sway opinion, you do it in a certain way. And if you start with, I really don't believe these things are any good for you, and you finish it with, if I was a smoker, I'd definitely be giving these a go, then you've constructed an article that takes the naive person, the person that's never come across these before, or the person who might have a bad opinion of them. It takes them from that situation to the point where you're more or less saying, actually, you're wrong. I'm a doctor. Trust me, I'm a doctor, and I would use them if I was already a smoker. And I also think that bit, they had to bring in the bit about the BMA. It's perfectly factual, but did you think he just went and dismissed it?
No.
Dismissed the BMA thing about the ban?
Oh yes. Sorry. Yes.
Just more or less
Yes.
said, yeah, the BMA thinks this, but
Well, that's right. I mean, it was a sentence, wasn't it?
it
And
was
that
the whole. Yeah, yes, I do think you have to be cautious, but if I was a smoker, I would be using them. I think it was absolutely brilliant. Chief Keef has just said he can't see how the piece could have been any more positive. I think you'd be absolutely right, and it's on our Facebook page as well, according to Chris, which is good.
And that programme gets a good audience.
Well, apparently it does, and I bet it gets a better one from last night. Let's have a look and see whether we've got anything coming in from the Twitter. I'm sure there will be. I've got to look really. Oh, right. Here we go. Let's get what we've got and bring them up. The first one is Trolky, who says Professor Hayek is simply a legend. Legend. He's a legend, is what he is. We've got from Stevie B. Keith going for the non-top pocket friendly vape tonight. I think that's in reference to your Evic Supreme with the Delta tank on top.
Oh, all right.
It could well be. And look, people are saying, join me now at VTTV live broadcast. Thank you for that. That was from Andy Oakley. Yes, everybody tweet that. Now that's what we've got going on. What else have we got? Yes, I'm going to pick up on some of these tweets later on in the show, because I'll be covering some of that stuff later on in the show. Here's what needs to happen. Now, David Newell, Dane Gloss, in chat last night, within 20 minutes of the show finishing, the Trust Me I'm a Doctor, had the footage up on YouTube. Make it viral. Send it to every tobacco control person you know worldwide. Do it for yourself, do it for you, because that's information I think everybody
Was
needs to
that
see.
the opening slot of the programme, or did it come later?
It was right in the middle.
Right.
It was right in the middle. They kind of sucked everybody in with the coffee, and then boom, hit the e-cigs, and then put the coffee on at the other side. So it was
Yeah, it was
beautifully.
very cleverly done. I mean, to squeeze all that in 6 or 7 minutes,
Fabulous, isn't it?
you know, it was just a positive message, wasn't it?
Well,
I mean, that comparison they drew when they were doing those tests with non-smokers and vapors was particularly significant, I thought.
I have to say that when he turned round and said that in terms of what a vapor, the likes of you and me, gets of the nasties, forgetting the nicotine, because he'd already said nicotine isn't the problem,
Yeah.
the nasties, we're on a par with non-smokers, yes, and more to the point, there's no such thing as second-hand vapor with bad effects.
Yes.
And he tested non-smokers that were in where the vaping was going on, no bad effects. The BMA needs to take notice. Twitter bomb the buggers with it. Let the BMA see. Every doctor in this country, frankly, should be behind us, not the BMA, and saying e-cigs are brilliant, like Dr. Christian is, and like Dr. Professor Michael Molesley now is. Yes, where are we looking
Is
at?
he a doctor, Mosley?
Well,
Is he
he's got a PhD. He's a
right.
professor. Whether he's got an MD or what, I don't know. It's yes. Stu Pottle, Dave the Rayon said, didn't Stanton Glantz get a huge amount of money for doing some research? And Stu Pottley's come back and said, yes, he's been begging for more cash. And Leanna Lawless says he did. That's why he wants assistance. Yes. Kyrulian C says, that's Lorien, she says, I'm sure the BMA have me on mute. And just to point out, Lorien, yes, I knew you would type. Where are we at? And that's a good thing. Oh, look at this. This is, yes, the stuff I actually can't actually read out because of one thing or another. I'll tell you what, shall we take the adverts, or is there anything else you want to say about what Michael Mosley had to say?
No, I think that's one of the best pieces I've ever seen. That, you know, when you look at documents, when you see references in the papers, that to me encapsulated most of the things anybody who was a vapor would want to get across.
Yes, absolutely right. I have got no idea what shot I'm on here. That was meant to be on you, and it was the wide shot, so I'm sitting here looking like an umpty. Thank God I wasn't picking my nose. Like I said, just before we go to the adverts, send that video to everybody you know. If Dave Newell wants to send the link to Sav or to Kat or to any of the other Vapor Trails moderators that are in the chat at the minute, drop that in, please. At the end of the show, so everybody knows where it's at, you need to go and see it. You need to send it to everybody you know, including your own doctor, your midwife, your chiropodist, your dentist, everybody. Just send it everywhere you can. Everybody needs to see that bit of footage. It is the most balanced and best piece of footage. It tells the truth the way the truth is. Yeah. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Go thou nowhere.
Safercigs.co.uk sponsors of the Haze Hour.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapors, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
Joyetech UK are proud sponsors of vaportrails.tv.
safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
Yes, and we're back in the room, and Stu Lee's just said, the knees hard, burns my ears, it's so loud. It actually isn't any louder than any of the others, it just sounds like it is. Because I've got meters here that tell me. So there you go. But it's meant to be loud, and basically, if it's too loud, you're too old. Isn't that right, Keith?
Yeah.
Talking about the knees,
comment on that.
Talking about the knees, mate. Are you going to make it, do you think?
I should be able to come for part of it, I think.
Oh, it's going to be excellent. Excellent, yeah. And people will be wondering, actually, why I've got various bits and bobs. They were asking earlier on why I had bits and bobs on the desk, including this bit and bob here, which I shall put in front of Keith, because I can do that. There you go.
Oh,
Ethyl maltol, 10% in PG. And the size of the bottle, if I put it beside Keith's head, you can see how big it is. That would be 1,000 millilitres of ethyl maltol, and I've got 2 bottles of it, so that's going to the knees, mate, with us. And if you want some to try my juice, to make your own, if you want to have a blast at that, bring yourself some little bottles along, and I don't mean half-litre bottles or 100ml bottles either. 30 mils maximum. Bring it along and I'll give you some at the knees, mate. Some ethyl maltol, so you can have a blast. And I'll have my own juices with a Zin 18 and 36, and I might mix up some as we go along. It promises to be a very good thing. Now, funnily enough, we were talking with Geordie Vapor earlier on about the knees, mate. Where is it? And he's tweeted, and this is what he's tweeted. He says, Wallace's first time watching the show. Tell her spending loads of money on vaping is totally acceptable. Well, it is actually more than totally acceptable. If you've been watching Michael Mosley, you'll know it's completely, totally, it is, isn't it? Not that you spend out.
Oh, I do.
Well, I know you do.
Yes.
Just not a lot.
Modestly.
Modestly.
Is that the word, modestly?
Yes. I'm just looking here.
Nothing in there?
Yeah, not yet.
Nothing in there?
Aye, not yet. There's no in the top pocket. The top pocket.
You think I was a kleptomaniac?
Pardon?
A kleptomaniac?
I don't want to know about your sexual preferences.
I knew you'd say that.
Well, there you go.
That's why I said it.
Well, there you are then. Yes, look, Mrs. Geordie Vapor, the fact of the matter is, there gets a point, and Captain Savin and a lot of other people will back me up on this. If you haven't got to show people new stuff, there gets to a point where you go, actually, I'm alright now. That's it, I'm fine. Because you've been like that for donkey's ages with Egos and CE4s, haven't you?
Yes.
You only change your main device of choice and preference about once a year, don't you?
Yes.
And what's the current choice?
Right, this one, I never remember makes. And the red one?
Well, that's a Kanga.
Right. Can you remember what the, do you know the one I mean, the burgundy coloured one?
That's an Ego, but it's what you've got on top of it that counts.
Can't remember.
Well, let's show everybody what the current, this is the one that's what you're enjoying most at the minute, and there it is. That's a Kanga email, which Davey and Andy looked at on Monday. And you're liking this,
I like that, yeah.
I mean, actually, I think that looks sexy as a sexy thing. That really does. That's 6 inches of pleasure sitting right there.
I would have never thought of that.
That is. That's 6 inches of pleasure sitting right there. That's Kate's favourite. And if you never had anything other than that, you'd be fine.
Oh yes, yes.
But Mrs. Geordie Vapor, I'm telling, and this is, I'm not blowing smoke up your nether regions. What's the phrase? Anyway, the fact of the matter is, it can take a while to find that one thing that makes you go, ooh. Think of it the way you found your husband. You finally found Geordie Vapor and you went, ooh, and you don't see any need to use anything else. He's on the same search for vaping. Is this working for you, Geordie? Hey, I'm doing what I can for you. Come along to the knees meeting, you'll see, Petal. Come along. It'll all be good. Kat's saying Sav has a second email and it's never out of her hand. That's what she's saying. And you know, this is it. This is the way things go. And this is why we're kind of bringing new stuff all the time, because it is true to say that if all of the surveys are right, then 2/3 of people that get into e-cigs get out of them again. And it's probably because, and there's no definitive proof of this, but it is quite possibly because they haven't found that thing that makes them go, ooh. You know, in my case, it's pretty much anything. I like them all, one way or another. There's a use for everything, and I can see a use for everything. There's certain stuff I use all the time, and there's certain stuff I'll use for a week or so and then put it away, never to be seen again. But this is mostly to do with the atomizing device, the bit that goes on top, the bit that actually does the job. The battery things, I'm a tube man, as everybody knows, and that'll feed into what's coming on later on anyway. But yes, it's the things that make you go ooh, isn't it? And that was just meant to be 20 seconds.
And you see, it's a size thing to me as well. Something you're comfortable with, that, if I dare say it, you can put in your pocket.
Oh no, the top
pocket, or you know, it serves its purpose.
Yes. So what do you use in the house? Still the same, or are you still?
If I'm sitting, that one.
Ah yes.
You don't carry that around with you.
No, it's a bit club-like for you, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, in your hands, that looks huge.
Yes.
Yes. You could have been a porn star, mate. I'm telling you.
You think so?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. No problem at all. Small hand. Well, it's never too late, mate. Granny porn's the big thing these days.
Is it?
Aye. Oh. You'd do well with the ladies, I think.
Oh, right.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes.
Gary Dibley's saying his eye stick and Mini Aspire arrived today. His Nautilus arrived today, and he's quite liking it. Tune in on Sunday. Dave Kitson's going to take a first look at the E-Leaf eye stick, and I'm going to follow it up next Thursday when I take one to bits, completely disassemble it. We've both got them. Dave's going to have a look at his. I'm going to take one of mine to bits and have a look at it, and then I've got news of some bits that's coming out for it and where you'll be able to get them from. This is all good. That's next. I'm giving the show away, but I'm giving away the plot. I'm not going to do the leg thing. Yes. So it's all good. Shall we blast on with something else?
I think you'd better.
I think we should, because I've noticed time is. I tell you what we'll do. Right. Tell you what we'll do. I'll take another couple of quick thingies from what do you call it? Twitter, and then we'll go into the adverts, and then I'll do the eGrip as the last item tonight. See what I've done. I had a running order. I've dropped an item in order to do this, because we would have gone over time, and Keith's got to be away sharp. So a quick blast into the old Twitter, and we have got, where is it? After Professor Hayek being a leg end, they're coming in. Yes, somebody, Gavdip has said he thinks that whole thing's very positive for e-cigs. Disco Des, who managed to sneak in without being noticed. Ha! Wrong again, Disco. I saw you. He's made a special pumpkin, especially for the Who and the BMA. And there's the link from Reptile Keeper for the footage. And again. And here we go. Trollkey has said, might the beep piece be a reaction to the COP6 debacle or debacle? Well, I don't care whether it was or it wasn't, frankly. It's a bloody good piece of footage that everybody needs to see. Where are we at? A Solo Soul says he needs to get an eGrip, and other people might agree with that after a while. Where are we? Lord above, there's loads and loads and loads. There's millions, I just can't get through them all. There's so many, so many. One of which might have been deleted, I don't know. But that's, there you go, that's what's going on at the minute. On Twitter, which is all good. We'll take the adverts, and when we come back, we are going to be having a look at. Oh, now my iPad's acting up. I hate this. Right, we're going to have a look at that. The eGrip. When we come back after the adverts, don't go anywhere. It's going to be good. See you in 2.
safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
LP Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
RY4 Radio.
safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
And we'll be back in the room. Before we get too much further into the show, this tweet has just come through. There's a Barrow Furnace meet on the 10th of November, it says here, at Bar 5, Dalkeith Street, Barrow. It starts at 7:30. And thanks, Kat, for sending me it in our chat.
Oh, that was on there.
Yes, it was also in there. You see, this is clever stuff. This is how you use technology.
Yes.
So that's Barrow Furnace meet, 10th of November at Bar 5, Dalkeith Street in Barrow. Starts at 7:30. That's a Monday night.
It's a place I've never been to.
Fancy
Barrow.
going?
Monday, when?
Monday the 10th of November. That's
Don't
2
know
days
how to
after
look
the
my
news
diary.
meet. Well, check your
Don't
diary
know.
out. If you fancy it, we'll have a dodge over, eh?
Aye. Barrow Furnace.
Barrow Furnace.
Yes.
It's great.
West, yes.
Yes, it's over
Yeah.
in Cumbria, where
Yeah.
men and men and sheep are nervous. It's true. Right, come on, let's get on with it, otherwise we'll not get it done, and we'll have to get this done. Here we go. Right, close you up, you can. This is, I shall take that off screen. Everybody's seen it now. This is, there it is, look. Put it the right way up, David, you idiot. Grip your lifestyle, it says.
Grip your life.
When was the last time you gripped your lifestyle, Keith?
No comment.
I'll bet. 1500 milliamp hours, 20 watts it says on the box, and there is the beastie. Now then, everybody has been saying that I've spoken to that's seen one of these, they go, but it's tiny, it's teeny weeny. Here's a business card. Look at that, there's a credit card size thing. Look at that. Line it up. I know it says Clouper on it, but it's still a proper, it's credit card size. Look, that's it. That's the beast. That's how big it is. It's teeny weeny. I'll show you through it, shall I? Because you'll want to know. Very simply, this thing has its atomizer connected by this screw-in thing in the bottom. And if I go to the box, and this one has got little thummy things so you can pull it out.
So many haven't.
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, you could go and buy an iPhone and end up with it on the pavement if you got it wrong. what it comes with in the box, come out you little pig, there you go, aside from everything else which I'll go into later, you get this little tool which just happens to fit perfectly into that bottom bit. Go really closely up, David.
Alright.
Right, there's where the atomizer sits. So your little tool, instead of a coin, I'll take the mouthpiece out, fits in there quite nicely, and you can unscrew it. Now, I'm going to try and do this so everybody can see it. I don't know whether I know my fingers will be getting in the way, and I'm sure a chat will be shouting at me, and I do apologise, but you know what it's like when you're a fellow with big fat fingers like me, because this is how you change it all about. I'm going to give a shout out to Stacey Hennigan, who's across at Joyetech UK. Now, I don't know whether she's single, lads, but she's blonde and she's beautiful, and she's got a really nice necklace that I think my wife would like. So it's a shout out to Stacey Hennigan, who apparently is signed in as Stacey in our chat. Go on, type something in, Stacey, I dare you. Right, where are we at? So you unscrew it, and then it pulls out like that. Right, now I've got to stand that upright out the way, and this is how it all comes together. Right, you might recognise that form factor of atomizer. I'm going to try and get it out. I will need a cloth because my hands are now slippy. So let's take it out, and you'll recognise the form factor. It's like the C3s, but this is a CS, and I'll go more into that when I've had a bit more time to play with it. But you will note, I trust, that this is not going to be easy. Right, it's in focus now, and I need a screwdriver. This section here is insulated from this section here, so that carries the negative, and the positive is carried in at this section, so it's double insulated away, so you can get the power in. It's very clever. It's very clever. So let's just screw it back together and show you how the whole thing works. It's actually dead easy. Dead easy. I'm actually quite impressed by this thus far, I have to say. It is very much a first look. So you'll be able to see the inside of it there. Oh, that's really catching the light rotten. Okay, and it's pretty much what you would expect from a Delta. This coil is at, he said, trying to find it properly and put it in, see if you can see it. I don't know whether you can. 5 volts to 5.5 volts, 1.5 ohm. So this runs quite hot, and it's got a fair number of coils, and I haven't taken one to bits yet, but you'll see lots and lots of slots there for getting juice through. So that screws back in, again using the provided tool, which is a bit clever. And you can stick this on your key ring and use it for all sorts of things. If people are getting seasick, I do apologise. But once you're into the way of it, it's not so bad. I haven't had to change an atomizer yet, so that's kind of something, isn't it? Whoops, other way, David. Everything's mirrored on here, and I get stuck. Dunk. And you do want to snug it down reasonably tight, but not desperate Dan tight, you know. Just wants to be in until you feel resistance and then stop. So, how do you fill it?
Yes.
See this little flap here? You lift it like that, and there's the fill hole with a little air hole. So you can take your bottle, and it'll take a snub nose bottle, put it in there like so. Oh, I'll go on to the bigger cam, it's maybe it's easier to see. So you put it into the hole and you fill, squeezing, 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 squeezing. Whoop, that's it. And that little drop.
How much does it hold?
I'm reckoning it's somewhere between 4 and 5 mils. I'll be honest, I've not looked at the destructions to see exactly what it's supposed to be, but certainly the length of push I get on it, it's holding quite a bit. So that's, go back to super closely up you come, and then just to show you that again. Dead easy to get to.
That's very simple.
It is. It's dead easy to get to, dead easy to fill, no mess. I filled it up to the brim earlier on today when it landed, and thus far it has caused no problem at all. No leaks, no nothing. Fabulous in that respect. So the other thing on the bottom I should show you is it has, and this will make Sava happy, bunny, and it makes me a happy bunny, it has a micro USB charge point, which means all the charging gubbins is in this thing itself. And I'm here to tell you that CE marking on there is real.
That's
a proper CE mark, and that's a proper micro USB. This is set up properly the way it needs to go. Now, you will notice here at all.
Yes.
Yes, that's there for a reason. That is the air intake, and it is controlled by that little screw under the E in eGrip. And you can, therefore, I'm trying to do this left-handed, if you screw it all the way in, that tightens the draw up. And if you weren't sure how that was going to work, can you see the screws in? Yes?
Oh yes.
Now then, I shall now unscrew it and you see what happens. Can you see the screw coming out?
Yes.
So you can visually see how much you want. So that means you can get it from as tight as
yes,
to as slack as all good. Right then, is it variable voltage? Is it variable wattage? What is it? Well, it's variable wattage, and that happens here. Now then, that mark, sorry, I'm moving around too much. Come on, focus, focus, focus. All right, go to that one. Right, no, it's too far away. Go to that one, David. This little mark here that lights up when you press the button, you see it's lit up? That's the check mark. That's where you put things to. And if and I'm going to have to use a cloth because I've got slippy fingers now. Right. You will just be able to see that the 20 mark is right beside the VW.
yes,
One click clockwise, like that, it takes it to its lowest setting. And there's little clicks. I don't know whether you'll be able to hear them, but that now is at its lowest setting.
right.
All right. So if I stick the mouthpiece in and send it in your general direction at its lowest setting, you can have a blast. That's the fire button.
They're suggesting it's top pocketable.
Are they indeed?
Gee, what a thing to say.
I think that's terrible.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm not liking this at all. Yes, your little finger's just hovering around that air hole, isn't it? The way you were holding it.
Yes.
Yes, I'll go in.
Nice, that.
You like it, do you? Oh, dear me. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Just watch.
Oh, here.
Yes.
It's too heavy. It's too heavy, isn't it? It's too heavy, Keith. It's too heavy for top pocket.
Quite heavy.
It's too heavy for top pocket, Keith. It's
comfortable to hold. Very.
Well, let me go back to close.
Pretty unique, that isn't it?
I've not come across much like this before. Right now, what I'm going to do is wind the blood thing right up. My fingers are as slippy as a slippy thing, and I'm going to have to use a cloth. If you've got dry fingers, you don't need to. This is the only bugbear I've got actually, is that once your fingers get a bit damp and slippy, you're boogered. Right, put that there, and you can see the 20 is right beside the VW. And now I shall take a dragulation, as one does.
So
that's on full shot.
Right.
It's on full bifter.
Right.
Now I know you wouldn't be happy with a mega drag on this.
No.
I, on the other hand, am a man. And that is whacking it out. I am liking that quite a lot. If I go up to Davy Cam, you'll see how much it's kicking out. Mm-hmm.
Bloody hell. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a size thing with that, isn't it? I mean, if you stand that next to, you know, one of the
other bloody great big things I've got, it's tiny weeny. It really is. It's very small. It's 1500 milliamp hours. I would imagine it's going to get an awful lot of people through the day. I'm going to keep on using this for a while. A couple of things I've noticed just during the course of the day. It does get warm in the hand if you run it at full blast.
Right.
But then you'd expect that because, he said, the atomizer is here and it's in your hand when you're holding it like that. So I can feel there's warmth on there. But that's taking the warmth away, I would think, from everything else. This is the stainless steel version. There's going to be a wood one, a black one, all sorts of different colours apparently.
Right.
There's more stock expected in. But yeah, I really cannot whinge about it. Stu Potley says it's a 510 drip tip. Yes, it is. Let me dress it up in one of my favourite colours and go back to close up you can. There you are. Yes. Takes it so you can dress it up with any drip tip you like. I'm going to keep it in its standard garb for the moment because that seems the right thing to do. For ease of use, this is fabulous. My darling wife got her mitts on it earlier on today.
All right.
And she went, oh, that's nice. And I thought, oh, bugger. But they're quite cheap as well.
You could lose it.
No, there are certain things that's not going to happen.
Buy you one for Christmas.
I might do that. I might buy one for Christmas indeed. I will say as well, and this is the only really unfortunate thing about it. If I put it there, in fact, if I put it like that on closey up you can, its resemblance to a traditional tobacco cigarette is just too close. I mean, seriously, you know, anybody seeing you use that would mistake it for a cigarette straight away, obviously, wouldn't they?
Oh, definitely.
Like shite. I like this. I like this. This is small. I'm not a box mod lover, as I think everybody knows. This is nice. It fits in the hand really, really nicely. It seems to be built like a brick outhouse. Built like a brick outhouse. It feels solid in the hand. Yes, this stainless steel one's a bit of a fingerprint magnet for me, but I've got the sweatiest hands on the planet. I really have, and they're always covered in juice.
You can use that pretty discreetly because I mean, you know, your hand covers it.
Do it discreetly without closing the air hole off. Bear in mind it's on full shot, short drag. Have you found the button? The middle of the button. Discreet. He's parting with vapour. It's not like
no, but can you see it in my hand?
No. But then I was asking Vicky yesterday, and she said she can't either.
Oh, shut yeah. You know, you could be standing somewhere where you weren't supposed to be using it, and apart from the vapour.
Oh, that's going on aircraft with me. That's going across to Vape Fest Island with me, without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, you'd have to change the setting then, wouldn't you?
I don't see why.
Yes.
Yes, the only Stacey Hennigan has said, because Stacey's in chat. Hello, Stacey. She wanted a shout out. Give her a shout out. The pair of us together.
Hi, Stacey.
Stacey Hennigan. There you are. She wanted a shout. I don't know why she wanted a shout out. Yes, I mean, as long as you don't feel, you say, I don't put my little finger on the bottom. That must be a girl thing.
Must it?
Well, it must be. Apparently, it's not just Stacey, it's a mate as well. The pair of them put their little fingers around the bottom like that. I don't know why. I grip it like a man. like a tennis,
Yeah, but
like a tennis
I
bat.
suppose doing that's more delicate, isn't it? It's probably more feminine, if I dare say that.
See how you like,
yeah.
Keith? I think it's nice. I think it's nice.
Go into a woman's handbag nicely, that's it.
Or your top pocket. And it's going in now.
Well,
No.
bit heavy for me top
This is
pocket.
staying with me. Just out of daftness, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put that and the eye stick side by side. There you are, so you can see there's in terms of size, there's not an awful lot to choose between them.
Yeah.
Not a fat lot, and same depth wise really, you know. Get them in the middle of the picture, David. You plonker. I am such a plonker tonight. It could be the beer I've been drinking.
No, very impressed with that.
It's nice. It is nice. I like it. That's going a lot of places with me. I'll tell you where it fits exactly. You know the little key pocket you get on a pair of jeans?
Yeah.
Fits exactly into that. Fits exactly into that. I've often wondered what that little key pocket on a pair of jeans was for. And that fits exactly in. You can drag it out by the drip tip.
Yeah.
You haven't got it. Oh, I am taking my life in my hands here. I am. I'll tell you, while Keith's having a fiddle,
Just nice feel.
and a fiddle and a fuddle with that, I'll tell you what's coming up this next week. Yeah, so that's what's coming up in the next week. Save me remembering it, you see. It's all good, isn't it?
It is.
Do you know what time it is?
Exactly 10 o'clock.
It's exactly 10 o'clock. It's exactly 10 o'clock. It says in here by the clock that we've got up there. Look, you can have a look and see that clock up on the wall up there. It says exactly 10 o'clock.
Exactly 10.
Exactly 10.
So
Exactly
we've
10.
been good this week.
We've been very good and not naughty. I like being good and not naughty sometimes.
You won't get wrong.
No?
Excellent. God.
Nice that. I do. I like that a lot. And I like as well the fact that folks see fit to share an hour of their Thursday night with Keith and myself and Sav and Kat back in VTTV Central pressing buttons and playing with knobs. Because that's what they do on a night, they play with knobs. We don't.
Good to them.
It's all good stuff in it. Hey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate your company. It's lovely to have you with us. Enjoy tomorrow night where you throw hot coals and boiling oil over children who come to your door and ring the bell on Trick or Treat night. I misread it, you know, and I was going to theme the show around Hales Owen tonight.
All right.
But never mind. It is what it is. It's been lovely to share the last hour with you. But until we see you next time, from Keith, from me, from Kat and from Sav, from everybody here at vaportrails.tv, can I just say, are you ready?
Yes.
Vape on! Vape hard and don't let the bastards grind you down! Till the next time, take care of each other, be good and enjoy life. Ta-da!
Bye.
eCigs, sponsors of the Haze Hour. SaveTheCigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.